Aloha. Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty Big Island, and I'm here today with the East Hawaii real estate market update with Amber Haley from Real Broker, and she is going to be giving us the lowdown on what's happening on the east side. So, Amber, tell us what is going on.
All right. Well, this is kind of funny because we're on Zoom today and I'm giving the East Hawaii market update, I think for the first time from East Hawaii. So this is as authentic as it gets, although I do miss being in the Lanai studio with you.
Yeah. I know the Lanai studio is a nice place to hang out in the sun, but it looks like you're having a good day behind you. See?
Yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day. It's a little bit gray over here, but it's a good day. Yeah, the sun's in and out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what we got going on over in East Hawaii.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you all a little bit of the statistics from the two main districts where most of our real estate transactions take place. So that would be the South Hilo district and the Puna district. So let's talk a little bit about the numbers that we had come in since we last did this update a month ago. I can't believe it's been a whole month, by the way. Okay, so let's start with probably what you guys are most interested in, and that is what's going on with the home prices. What in the world is going on with them? How have they changed? That's something that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this year and going into the spring market. So the Puna district, we'll start there. Looking at all the data from the last month of March, the median home value is sitting at $367,500. And that is kind of strangely enough, exactly the median value where we were last year at this time. This little snapshot of statistics.
Okay.
So that's kind of an interesting fact. It's no increase, no decrease. Exactly around this time, just going into the spring market in 2022, feels like a lifetime ago. We were sitting at 367.5. So kind of interesting. No change there. I don't usually talk that often about land sales because most of you all watching are buying like single family homes, some of you buying condos, but in East Hawaii, primarily you're buying single family homes. But I did think it was a little bit interesting. There was a difference. The average lot in Puna, which this is a fun statistic anyway, not the average, the median, excuse me, $39,250. And a year ago, it was 35,000. So there was a change a little bit in lot value. And I know what a lot of you are probably thinking hearing that number, that our median price for a piece of land in Puna is $39,000. I just wanted to kind of point that out today. There is still affordable real estate in Hawaii. Some of it's in riskier lava zones, definitely, but there is some. So there was a slight decrease in value in the land. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if I said that right. 35,000 is the median right now. A year ago, it was closer to 40,000. So there has been a slight decrease in that.
Let me ask you real quick. What how much land does $35,000 buy you?
So that is a great question. So glad you asked, because the answer isn't really that easy. Because, for example, in a neighborhood like Hawaiian Paradise Park, one of the neighborhoods that we probably would have looked at today and we will look at in the future to make some more informational content for you all watching. But Hawaiian Paradise Park, it would be very, very challenging to find anything under $50,000 in the entire neighborhood, which is very different than a few years ago. You could have gotten a pretty prime parcel for close to $35,000-$40,000, believe it or not. But now you can't even find anything in anywhere in the neighborhood. So it's just going to vary very greatly depending on exactly where you are and what lava zone you're in. But even some of the spots that are in less risky lava zone 3, and I say less risky, meaning that it's not going to really affect you real estate wise due to lava hazard, at least. There are some still affordable lots kind of closer up toward volcano, higher elevation. So it will really, really depend. We're seeing lots $15,000 to get you a quarter acre somewhere in a riskier lava zone. Yeah. We're seeing $65,000 to get you an acre in lava zone 3. We're seeing, Hawaiian Acres, which is kind of one of those types of neighborhoods that's like real backcountry roads. Sometimes if depending on
158, 103.
you might be driving, quite a ways on a rugged road off the highway. That real estate's a little bit more affordable, and you might be able to get something closer to 30, 40, 50,000. But yeah, the lot prices, it just really depends on the location. So it is quite a range. It is quite a range.
And they dropped a little bit year over year, maybe because of permitting processes, or maybe because the good stuff is gone. We were in HPP yesterday, actually, without you, but there is a boatload of building going on. And I know that those prices of those homes that are in those neighborhoods have gone up exponentially because, they're desirable. But I'm wondering, like you said, that you can get some outside of those areas, but then you have to get your electricity hooked up. You gotta, make sure the road improvement is okay. So that might be a little bit more in the rural aspect of life of those $35,000 pieces of property, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen since I've been doing real estate in East Hawaii, I've seen just such an increase, especially in those neighborhoods like Hawaiian Paradise Park and Ainaloa that we keep mentioning in lot prices and home prices.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're a little bit more convenient to the highway and to people going to Hilo and all that.
It's called life. They're better, to live your normal life. So Brad asked, aren't there different size lots in HPP too? Some acres, some 3 acres.
Oh, great question, Brad. Yes, in general, almost every single lot is 1 acre. There will be exceptions. So the closer you get to the water, the lot sizes do get smaller. So some of them are half an acre, some of them are a quarter. There are some lots that are over an acre. There's a few, one-offs here and there of over an acre, or people have gone through the process of combining parcels into 1 TMK. That has been done. So there are the occasional, multiple acres that have been put together as well. So yes, but in general, almost every single property in this huge subdivision is an acre.
Yeah. Okay. So
thanks.
Sales. That's the big question too.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about Hilo too.
Oh, well,
Hilo's talking because it's kind of fun to compare a little bit. So the median home value in Hilo over the last month since we've last done this update is $485,000. And if we look back to a year ago, that is down from 550,000. So that is almost a 12% decrease.
Okay.
So I am noticing a theme on these updates, Julie. I am noticing values going down. We had that last month, and this is probably about the 3rd month where I've seen it at all. But now, to go down 12%. Again, this is a snapshot of data. It's not the whole picture, but it is still, a trend to watch.
Okay.
If we compare that to if we're looking at year to date, we're still down about 10%. So yeah, median prices are going down. And then, vacant land, if we want to just throw in a little bit about vacant land in Hilo, there's not that many parcels, available. But the median price for a vacant land parcel in South Hilo is $417,000 right now, compared to $270,000 this time last year. Now that is a smaller set of data, so that can sometimes skew the data a little bit. So I wouldn't read too much into that number. Right. But that has increased.
Okay. So you're saying the median price of land is 417,000. Up from 270, but that could be like just 8 acres versus 1 acre. Yeah.
And it's such a small amount of sales that we're taking into account for South Hilo. There's a lot more land sales that happen in Puna that you really do want to take that data with a grain of salt. Yeah. Okay. So that is what is going on with home values, folks. So for those of you who are buying, that might be some good news that median prices are going down. I know there are more factors than just price when it comes to buying a home, especially if you're financing, but we are definitely seeing a decrease in median value.
Yeah. Okay. And then also I saw some homes because we were looking for our buyers, and the days on market are what's the word? Vexing. Because they just keep going up. So we saw some homes yesterday that had been on the market for 50, 60 days. So is that kind of like what's happening too? You're just getting more and more, the days are
Yes.
lingering.
More and more days on market. We are seeing an increase in days on market. I will be interested to see, because I do think that there are more buyers entering the market right now, how that changes from right now until next month. But yes, we are seeing more and more days on market as well. And our list to
Oh, let's see.
sales price is pretty similar as where we were this time last month. So stuff is still on average selling just under its final list price as opposed to a year ago. So that is different.
Okay.
Median price is going down. I'm not seeing as many multiple offers. However, if something is properly priced, or they get to that last price reduction where they are, I have been encountering some multiple offers with my buyers, and even some multiple offers over asking price.
Okay.
I think that a trend that we might be seeing is, now that I think sellers are starting to, in general, understand that we can't price crazy high anymore. So if they're being, if they're really educated about the market and being really reasonable, they might start pricing more reasonably, and then we might, I think we'll see an pickup on homes not sitting on the market quite so long, and just kind of more of a competition, and more people putting in offers right away, and maybe going over list again, because I have seen that in the last couple weeks, even on properties that my buyers have been buying that have been priced
So
correctly.
what price range are you seeing? Like this little frenzy, this mini frenzy on housing? Like
Well, like the 500,000 price range. I would say the majority of home buyers that I work with, and I work with, quite a few buyers with quite a few different backgrounds. I would say your average home buyer in East Hawaii right now is in the $450,000 to $650,000 range. So, I'd say average about $500,000.
Yeah.
So that's the range that's going to have the most competition. And yeah, when something is priced right, and I think a lot of people just feel really uncertain about real estate right now. So I think there's a lot of, emotions involved, and people being afraid of missing out of things on both ends. Sellers afraid of missing out, buyers afraid of missing out. And so, yeah, I mean, definitely it is kind of something to keep an eye on. If something is priced correctly, we don't want to just look at, oh, the market's slow and everything's just sitting on the market, because I think it was Delania the other month in one of our updates mentioned, maybe it's kind of Murphy's Law when, you finally do get your offer in and everything's been sitting on the market, but then all of a sudden you got 5 other offers. So yeah, it really is going to be beneficial to all of you watching to have a real estate agent who really knows the market, and if something is priced correctly, so that what kind of strategy you need to go into, because it is so specific to each individual property.
Yeah.
Unlike any other, like most markets in this country are not quite like the East Hawaii market. So
Right. In fact, and Brad's question is, how is inventory doing? But I'll go ahead and answer that question real quick, and I'll tell people what kind of happened yesterday, because we think that there's a lot of inventory in the price range we were looking at, because we looked at 7 homes in basically a $50,000, $60,000 price range, and a lot of them were new construction, and we were kind of surprised that and we were making a joke about this actually, that almost every house we walked into was like a cookie cutter of the next one.
yes,
They're using the same white, and you can tell what the trend is this year in each BP. The vinyl flooring, that's probably kind of like grayish, and then the countertops are white with kind of like a gray river through the paneling, and then crazy lights that are all over the ceiling.
yes, yeah, yes. Well, okay, so you said you were looking in the $500,000 to $600,000
450 to 525,
450,
530. Yeah. And
450
there's,
to 5.
and we found, like, we walked through 4 or 5 new construction homes in that price range. So
Yeah. So I am not surprised at all that realtors and home buyers, maybe even who have been in West Hawaii, come to the East Hawaii market and feel like there is a lot of inventory and a lot of construction and all of that, because we do have a lot more inventory than
Definitely. There's no way you would see 7 homes in one day in a price point in Hawaii. I mean, I was to Hawaii. So we were like this, oh my gosh, all day long. We went from like, I don't know, like 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, all the way until 4 o'clock looking at homes all afternoon. So
yeah, that's kind of why I love working over here, because it actually, we do have a low inventory right now for a healthy market, but we still have inventory. There are homes to buy here, and definitely compared to what's going on in West Hawaii right now. I mean, there's always less real estate trading in West Hawaii. Most of that does happen over, especially in the Puna district. But yes, I could see how, yeah, we do have a lot of options if you're in that price range, and there is a lot of new construction, and you see a lot of the HPM homes.
those are kit homes, basically. Those are the single. Yeah. Okay, so they're basically, yeah, they all look a lot. I mean, maybe they're the same model. They look a lot
of them are, and you can really tell. I mean, there are custom homes that go into, or some of the more kit homes that have been done a little higher end or a little more customized, and generally those are priced significantly higher than probably maybe the ones that you looked at that all kind of maybe looked the same, a little bit more builder grade. But yes, welcome to my world over here. Yeah, I look at those homes all day long, and I do hear that a lot from buyers, even residents who aren't really like in the real estate market. They're like, oh, it just seems like there's so many houses for sale. But that really is just kind of more of a feeling, because there is, we do have empty lots over here, and there is construction going on over here, but we do need more inventory.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. So Brad, there you go. How's inventory doing? My perspective is they've got a boatload of houses for sale over there. Amber's saying we still need more.
Yeah, we still need more. We have a lot of we have a lot of need for housing over here, and there are less buyers in the market, of course, than there were a year ago. There's going to be less home sales this year significantly than there was last year and the year before. But yeah, we definitely have a low inventory situation, and still longer days on market. So yeah.
And I bet 450 to 550 is still kind of out of the price range for a lot of first-time home buyers in East Hawaii, right?
Yeah, it probably is, but it does get tough if you are wanting to stay in Lava Zone 3 to go too much lower than that. Especially if you are financing and you're wanting a fully permitted house. And you want to be closer to life, as we were talking about, closer to the highway, closer maybe to jobs and Hilo and school and all of that. It's getting really, really challenging to find anything under 450,000. I just showed a brand new construction yesterday. That was one of the houses I toured this week in Hawaiian Paradise Park. It was a 4-bedroom, like 2.5 bath. And it was priced at 720,000, which is really high. But I looked at, what else was available, new construction, and it wasn't even the highest priced one. So it's getting tough, because Hawaiian Paradise Park a few years ago, that would have been maybe a 450, maybe $500,000 house. For something to be over $500,000 in Hawaiian Paradise Park a few years ago was pretty unheard of. It was going to be one of those really nice houses down by the water or something. But now it's almost like if you have a new construction coming in, especially if it has a 4th bedroom and it's been they put some nicer finishes on it, not just your base HPM home. We're seeing those lists in the upper 6s and lower 7s right now, which is kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around. I do believe they will sell lower, the ones that are sitting on the market at that, but that's what buyers are looking at. So if you're a buyer right now, maybe getting set up on listing alerts, because I do sense there is still kind of some uncertainty with people not knowing how to price homes and stuff. You might want to bump up your search parameters, $25,000. And just to kind of get more of that inventory maybe being emailed to you, get those listing alerts, because I do still see homes being overpriced that will probably come down or probably end up accepting a lower offer.
Yeah, in fact,
it's good to see them.
Yeah, most of the homes that we saw yesterday had been on the market for a very long time. So our buyers were about to probably lowball a few of them, but then they found one they actually really liked and the price they liked. So there you go. So, but I'll have to say though that we did see a home in Hawaiian Paradise, Hawaiian Estates. It's the one that has a pool and a community center. It's a little south of HPP. It has like a community thing. Help me on this one.
Okay, there's
Hawaiian
a few of them.
Shores.
Was
Is it
it
called
oh
Hawaiian
Hawaiian
Shores?
Shores maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can get the pool and, you know, a little bit more of the amenities, but it was also a little bit further though than HPP, which is already a little bit further than going to like Hilo and stuff. So I can see where, you know, proximity is. And our buddy Brad up here put that for high-speed internet, it's more important than proximity to jobs. And I bet a lot of people would think if you could sit on your computer all day long doing your stuff, entertainment, job, then you don't need to go that far outside your house for experience. But yeah, if you want to walk down to the cliffs and go in the ocean and stuff, it's nice to be able to do that not too far from where you live. So and then Brad also says, oh, Dave says not a lot of 4 and 5 bedroom places, so the price goes up. Yeah, most houses are 3 too. In fact, we saw one that it was a 3 bedroom, 2 bath inside, and then they had a 1-1 out next to the carport, so you can have a studio too. So those are nice little opportunities that people, if they were looking for income producing property, there are a few things out there that you can look at. And then Brad says, I heard about a sunny section of HPP. Is that the only area near the coast that is higher money? So I think that's where like Suzanne, our friend Suzanne lives, is in this little extra
Yeah.
space. Yeah.
So people talk about this a lot, and there are a lot of microclimates on this island, and even in HPP, we kind of do have our own microclimates. A lot of people refer to the section of Hawaiian Paradise Park that is closest to the water as kind of being the sun belt. I've heard it referred to as the banana belt. It does seem to be a little bit sunnier and get a little bit less rainfall, and especially if you're out on the cliffs, a lot of days you can look down north, you can look up north to Hilo and you see it's raining over Hilo, and you got nice sunshine on the Puna coastline down there. So in general, there is kind of a sunny section near the water, but I have also heard, and I am not a meteorologist, so I do not totally understand how the science of all these microclimates work, but there's a little bit of like a wet microclimate kind of in the middle of HPP. So maybe some of those people who live there kind of need to be a little bit more careful about like things like mold issues. Definitely when you get higher up, like past the highway, higher elevation, those properties definitely get more rain than
Like Orchid Land Estates.
Yeah,
Right?
like Oregon Estates would get more rain than HPP. Is it hugely significant? I don't think so. But yeah, there are kind of little sections, and people do refer to down by the water, especially Kaloli Point specifically is an area some of you may have heard of or seen referenced in a listing. That's generally kind of a more sunny section of the neighborhood. And there's also, you know, a lot of nice homes there too. So the higher prices, I would say, are often because of that.
Yeah.
Just,
but also interestingly enough, as you know, because it happens here in West Hawaii, East Hawaii, and every other place that's ever next to an ocean, is that the closer you get to the ocean, you get all the ocean problems. You get the fried electronics. So that beautiful Wi-Fi that Brad was talking about might need to be replaced quite a few times. And it gets into your appliances and it covers your windows. And it just is one of those issues that you have to have more maintenance for being next to the ocean. So, you know,
yeah.
what you wish for.
Also a tsunami zone.
Oh, tsunami. And also
yeah.
the hurricanes too. I mean, East Hawaii does get hurricanes.
Yes, you froze a little bit there for me, Julie, but I think you said hurricanes.
Yes, hurricanes. East Hawaii gets hurricanes.
Yeah, I mean, we're strangely like not that susceptible to full on hurricanes making landfall in East Hawaii. I'm sure there's like a very elaborate scientific explanation for that, but definitely tsunamis. Go to the tsunami museum in Hilo if you want to learn a little bit more about how to be afraid of living in Hawaii.
You know, I'd be afraid of a tsunami in Hilo because you're near the bay.
Yes.
I have to believe, looking at HPP and the cliffs on that side, the tsunami is not going to have a massive impact when the cliffs are 30 feet high.
I definitely would, in my mind, feel like it's a lot safer, but it is there is the whole section down by the water is in a tsunami evacuation. Okay. So it's just something to be aware of.
Yeah, especially if you want flood insurance. right?
It's not
So
it's not gonna be in a riskier flood zone, so it probably doesn't affect anybody's insurance because of flood. But yeah, the tsunami part would. I'm not sure exactly how the different policies would put that, but it isn't a riskier flood zone,
okay,
ironically.
thank you. That's a good one to
They
know.
have it specified as a tsunami zone, not a risky flood zone. I think most of the risky flood zone properties that I've seen are a lot of those properties up in the northern part of East Hawaii when you get to like the Gulches and up along the Hamakua Coast,
Oh,
North
okay.
Hilo district.
Yeah,
That's where I see a lot of the riskier flood zones, where there's the rivers and the
rivers.
waterfalls and
Yeah.
all of that.
Okay. So Brad says, I wouldn't live below 500 feet. And the Tsunami Museum just reopened. Thank you. I love it, Brad. If you can get Brad in on a discussion, he will give you all these little factoids.
I love it. Thanks for being here, Brad.
Yeah.
Keep
But
it
that's
going.
another, I'm making this another thing too, that working with a realtor from East Hawaii is a very smart idea, especially with Amber, because she's been there for a long time. And like knowing these little things about like the flood zones and stuff like that, that comes from somebody who actually, deals with the contracts and looks at them all the time and sees what they have to add to the disclosures and things like that. So good job. Okay, so real quick, I just want to know what happened with the sales, because they had dropped over the
Oh,
last
yeah.
2 months. So let's hear what's happening with sales.
Okay. So, as far as single family homes in Puna,
Uh-huh.
ooh, 66 sales in the month of March that we just finished. That is a decrease of 44% from a year ago.
Okay, 44% drop.
Pretty significant. And if we're looking at the whole year out, we're down almost 40% from 2022.
Okay, so
That's
down.
significant data right there.
Yeah.
South Hilo, we had 22 single family homes sell in March, and that is down 50%
There
from
we
sales,
go. Okay.
the year before.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
so
And that's okay. So Puna was the 66 sales in March, and Hilo was the 22 sales.
22 sales.
That's Hilo.
That is the South Hilo district, which
South
is
Hilo.
Hilo proper and most of the sales. I don't
Okay.
often bring in data from the North Hilo district because it's usually like one or
Yeah.
two sales
Okay.
at
Okay.
most, and that can really skew our data because sometimes there are these multi-million-dollar huge rolling estates and sometimes they're nothing.
Yep.
So it just kind of confuses things. But yeah, so 22 sales compared to a year ago where there was 44, so literally half.
And even that was like a low inventory, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in the time that you've been selling real estate in East Hawaii, what's like the most inventory that you've seen in 1 month?
Oh, that, you know what? I wouldn't be able to tell you an exact number because it's a lot. We just have so many.
Like 50, 100? I mean,
Oh, like single family home
yeah.
listings.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have well over 50 just in HPP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is kind of slow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 66 sales and 22. Yeah. Because I was listening, watching a little of the national news and headlines that mortgage applications are going up every single week. So more buyers are coming into the market. And also realtors from across the country are saying that the phone is ringing with buyers. So I think that people are starting to think that the inflation is being curbed, that the Fed is going to lower those rates. They're getting antsy. It's getting spring home buying time, and people still want to make a move during the summer. So I do see that we might get some more, interest in getting people into homes. So that'd be good for sellers who are trying to get out. Because when you're sitting there for 50 or 60 days thinking you were going to sell your home in like 30 days, you're probably going to say, maybe I will come down a little bit on my price. So hopefully buyers and sellers can find that even ground of bringing the prices down a little bit and getting those houses off the market to get those sales up, right?
Yeah, and I will agree with that sentiment. I'm having a lot of buyers coming into the market right now.
There you
So
go. Okay.
I'm excited to work with buyers and help them find that place. Yeah, reach out if you guys have any questions. I have a lot of people right now who are relocating and they're doing the buy and the sell at the same time. And that can be really tricky, especially when you're relocating across an ocean. So I really hope that you guys, ask as many questions. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I have been there with the relocation end of it. I have a lot of clients who have done it while selling on the mainland or somewhere else in the world. and buying in Hawaii, there are some things that you might not know about that process. That it's good to have conversations now with your realtor and with your lender and with everyone involved before you start looking at houses. So that would be my tip for our market update this month, because I am seeing a lot, and I'm seeing that people, if you've never bought a house in Hawaii, you don't know how our escrows work. Things work differently than on the mainland. You are going to need some contingency plans for different situations that could arise while you sell and then buy.
Right. And we talk about this sometimes too, that sometimes people think, okay, I'm closing my house on the mainland and I'm going to immediately buy a house when I get to Hawaii. Therefore, I'm going to schedule my airlines with my pets at a certain time. I'm going to get my container so it arrives at a certain time. I've got my car going, and then everything starts to fall apart and be weird. And then all of a sudden your days are looking strange. So like you said, having a frank and an honest conversation with someone who's seen many people go through that would be a very smart tip. You can save thousands of dollars and lots of headaches if you talk to somebody who's actually been, counseling these people to do that. So thank you. And in fact, the buyers I was showing are actually selling another condo here in Hawaii. And we're playing that game of when that was going to close, when their cash is ready to go, all that thing. And it's a kind of like a shell game and a timing game. So, and then you add the relocation aspect of moving all your things over across the ocean. You've got quite a little fun thing to go on. And also I saw some people in the whole Hilo newbies group. They are looking for part-time housing while they're trying to be in that moment of like letting go of one house and trying to get into another house. And I think, and am I right on this one? There's still a kind of a lack of rental housing in East Hawaii, right?
Yeah, it is challenging. I mean, it has been for quite a while, but it is challenging to find a rental. So that's why, it's good to have plans and backup plans for your plans and start that early. You would be surprised by how many people do think that they can sell a house and move directly from that house into their house here without having anywhere in between. But for most people, unless you can carry multiple, mortgages sometimes, where you get, really lucky with some weird situation, you're going to have to be in a rental in between. And, there's always potential for delays or things to fall through. So with such kind of like a high stakes relocation, especially if you have, maybe like a shipping container and maybe animals with you, you just really want to plan well.
Yeah. And I'll do a plug for our buddy Tammy. She does a company called the Relocation Services, and we can put that into the because this is gonna be on YouTube. I'll put it information into the YouTube channel, because it's nice to have somebody who you can ship your stuff to. She's one of those things, she catches your mail, and then she can also get your stuff off of the Matson shipping container if you're not there to get your car. But then in terms of like professional services, Amber also knows a whole bunch of people that she can connect you to. And again, trying to find housing. It's not something that comes out of a little magic ball and says, boom, you get a place to live. You might have to make some extra cash to actually rent an Airbnb, because that might be the only place that you might find that's available for the time that you need it. There's also a website called furnishedfinders.com, and sometimes it works with traveling nurses, but it might be a good place to see it's furnished. That way, if your stuff's coming over and you don't need to like have an empty space and you just want it furnished, there's opportunities there. I also have an East Hawaii moving guide that I can send to anybody who wants it for free. I will, if you're on the call, there's only a few of you. If you're, it's a free opportunity, but I'm only going to do it for the first 10 people because I'm a busy woman. If you want to get that from Amber, please do so. I'll drop Amber's contact information into the down there, and then that way she can talk to you about it. But I also put Amber's contact information for those of you who are looking to relocate and want to talk to somebody a little bit more about what's it really going to take. So is there anybody else in the group here who has any questions? Okay, and don't forget, if you are watching us on YouTube, if you want to join us live, you can go to 365konaliving.com, join the Ohana, and we will let you into our private Facebook group where Amber and I usually sit side by side and have a little chatty chat. And so we'll be doing that next month in May, the first week in May. Mark your calendars for Wednesday, May 3rd. And we will be on the lanai and giving more information about what's happening with this crazy housing market. And it says, but this way we get to see Amber's dog. Oh, is your dog walking around?
Yeah, I have a couple dogs that have decided to
You have
come.
That's right. Here, give the dog lovers in the world a little, there, see. We don't get that in the lanai here.
The home office dog mascot right here.
There you go. And East Hawaii, like there's dog lovers in East Hawaii. I think
Yeah,
it's
great
more
place.
doggy in East Hawaii than it is in West Hawaii.
It might be, yeah.
Because you guys have more land, it's more rural, there's more places to let the animals run and stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This
Okay.
dog has a great life in East Hawaii. So
Yeah, yeah. And you always take about you're
your
taking out
dog.
all the time. You know, Amber lives the life of East Hawaii. She's surfing, she's enjoying life. She takes, you know, there's opportunities for nice beach walks. So okay, with that, we have been on for long enough that people will enjoy the fact that we shared a bunch of knowledge. And if you guys want more, come back. And like I said, contact Amber if you're thinking about buying a house in East Hawaii. And with that, we will say aloha. Thanks,
Aloha.
Amber.